We're called Zainichi Koreans.
What the fuck is that?
So
Are you all? Is your blood Korean?
yes,
And you're outside.
but the Korean people in Korea do not like us either.
Why? What? Should I have you on the show? I mean, nobody likes you. Am I doing the wrong thing?
So last year there was 2 shows, right?
Yeah.
Pachinko on Apple TV and Tokyo Vice on HBO.
Yes.
It was the first time in 2 television shows where they talk about Zainichi Koreans or Japanese Koreans, and they're special ethnic groups. And I was shocked because white people will ask me, "Are you Zainichi?" And they're like, it's really strange. Just like Russell Peters is Anglo-Indian. He's not Indian, really.
No.
So to be Zainichi, you have to be.
I think he's Puerto Rican. I think he's just into people. But he was a goofy I think he's a Puerto Rican with a touch of Down syndrome. The life of a stand-up comedian is crazy. You're going nonstop. You're staying up until dawn. You're dreaming about comedy. And then you wake up thinking about comedy. But running yourself into the ground will never work. It doesn't. You need to make sure you're getting a good night's sleep when you can. And that goes for anybody, not just comics. That's where Ghost Bed can help. Ghost Bed mattresses are designed with a premium materials and patented cooling features so you sleep better, cooler, and more comfortable from the moment your fat head hits the pillow. So take advantage of free shipping, 101-night mattress sleep trial, and financing starting at $35 a month. Most orders ship within 24 hours, so you can start sleeping better this week. Listeners get 40% off all products site-wide. You get 40% off a mattress, adjustable base, and bedding accessories, or 50% off when you bundle a mattress with an adjustable base. Use promo code YKWD at ghostbed.com/YKWD for 40% off site-wide. Limited time only. Yeah, baby. We're starting the podcast right now. We're back. You know what, dude? Live. Welcome, everybody, to the show. YKWD. I started social media and podcasting. The fact. The YKWD podcast.
YKWD's back again.
Old school, back in the day, where it all started. Before them all.
YKWD.
This podcast is so fun and crazy. It has no rules.
Shut up. You're ruining this.
Where's the bandana, man?
I'm sorry. It's a comedy podcast. This isn't NPR.
That's what this podcast does.
Is there any better show? This is the original. Welcome, everybody, to the YKWD podcast, live above the Comedy Cellar Studios. And I got a great guest today. Of course, Joe's not here, Mush is not here, but we have the 2 Tizzies. We have Max. We actually have 3 Tizzies. Our guest is a Tizzy. And when I say Tizzy, if you're not up to date, it's the autistic twins. We got Danny, Tizzy 1, and we got Max, Tizzy 2. And producing the show today. So go to my website, robertkellylive.com. I'm performing all summer long in theaters. Laconia, New Hampshire. I'm going to be in Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm doing a bunch of theater shows all around. You know, I don't work that much in the summer because I go to the tiny house and I take some time off and enjoy my life. But I do have some shows happening. So make sure you check that out. And go to comicwearables.com, get your YKWD gear, and use code word Ladybugs. Get 20% off all merchandise. I got a great guest today, and he's autistic too. This should be a fantastic show. I should be probably got to look me in the eye, some weird twitch, and then I'm just talking about my producers, by the way. I love autism. I think it's a superhero power. Who do we got on the show today? Tizzy 2.
We got a comedian and former porn executive, Yoshi.
I mean, that's it?
Yeah.
You don't have his last name?
What is?
You can't say it. You can't say it.
You had Max say it because you couldn't say it, you piece of
No,
shit.
I have Max introduce the show every week. I have him. I'm going to say this right now. First of all, I'm going to look right into the camera. And that is true. I could not say his last name. No, I know his last name. I'm just saying I have you introduce the guests in the show.
Yoshi's fine. Yoshi's fine.
How dare you?
I know.
First of all, how dare you?
I fucked up.
pull back the curtain. Then, no, Max, I'm talking to Danny now.
Oh, cool.
How dare you? You never pull back the curtain on the great and powerful fucking Boz. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. As far as the name goes, you know the movie Usual Suspect?
Yeah.
Remember Kobayashi?
Yeah,
Just take the K. Obayashi.
Obayashi.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah. I know your last name.
it. Okay.
I know Yoshi Obayashi.
Yes. Thank you.
I love saying it. Me and my family say it before we eat every night. We go, thank you, Yobayashi. Yobayashi. Yoshi Obayashi. We give thanks to Yoshi Obayashi.
And Bobby, thank you for making me comfortable by wearing that.
Oh, yes.
uh,
You guys don't know that Yoshi's Japanese, and as a boy, he feared this.
yes. It's nice that you remind me in a tsunami right there for my family.
There's the Great Wave Hokusai that wiped out most of your family back in the early 1800s. And this is what
Wow, I'm impressed you have that reference.
the Great Wave of Hokusai.
Yeah.
What's up with that, son?
Oh, Jesus.
What's up? Japanese is my game.
Wow. All right.
Huh?
Wow. All right.
Huh? You didn't know that.
Most Americans wouldn't know that.
I'm going to tell you right now,
Yes.
I have an affinity for you for two reasons.
Okay.
One, you're just an interesting guy. People don't understand this, is that most comics, and I said this to you up front,
Yeah.
have comedy and acting, comedy and music and acting.
Sure.
You had porn and comedy.
Yeah.
You have a million other things that you do. You'll do stand-up,
Yeah.
and then you're into Broadway plays. You're into musicals and plays.
Sure.
But you also go around studying like
Weird stuff.
weird stuff like terrorism and terrorists and serial killers, and you go on your own dime. Nobody's really paying you to do
No,
this.
no, no.
You're going to do all this stuff, and then you go, and I want to get into some of this stuff. Then you'll
Sure.
go to make money, like this chunk of cash. You'll go and do these experiments,
Medical testing. Yeah.
medical testing.
Yeah.
Which I'm waiting for you to come back with like a dick on your head one time, where all this stuff goes wrong. And
I've been having a little bit of issue this year, first time in like 11, 12 years. I'll be honest.
really,
Yeah.
from
For those of the people watching that show now, not familiar, so
what is it?
that every drugs that we ever buy, there's a period somebody have to be tested on animals first, then human beings.
And they pay humans good money
Yes,
to be tested for a week
or
2
longer.
weeks, or longer.
Yeah,
And you do it.
I do it, and because they particularly pay most money from people from Japan,
Why?
because Japanese people metabolize medication better than any other race.
Because you guys are superheroes from Godzilla.
Well, radiation maybe. I don't know why. but-
Is that because of us? Because we dropped those nukes on you?
yes,
We made you guys superheroes.
the N word of Japan. But yeah,
Is that the?
but
Did you say that's the N word in Japan? Nukes.
I thought it was a joke. But when I lost my when I lost my job 11 years ago, I used to get these letters, and somehow they get my name. I think maybe they got it from Department Census Bureau.
Yeah.
They would look for like Japanese or Japanese American, and then these drug companies are constantly looking for Japanese people. And so every pharmaceutical company don't have drug to be tested every single day.
Yeah.
So they have to go third party called CRO, which is Clinical Research Organization. Their job is constantly doing testing job for pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
So
Hey, real quick, anybody who doesn't understand anything, we're going to close caption this
Okay,
episode
sorry.
underneath. So just hit the CC. Go ahead.
I'll speak slower. So I'll get text messages, emails saying we're looking for Japanese between the age of 18 through 55.
Okay.
We need for 5 weeks. We're doing a pancreatic cancer study, and non-smoker, non-drinker, and they have to within certain BMI to qualify for the study. And they quite often have a hard time finding, even in America, for Japanese. So they have to fly them in from Japan.
They fly Japanese people in to America
'Cause
to
it's
be
really-
tested.
Yeah, because
Because
it's
all of our Japanese people are fat.
fat, did you say?
Yeah, you said the BMI has to be.
Oh, no,
fat.
no, they have to be
They're just alcoholic smoking fatos. Hey. You want to do a testing? Hey, how much you weigh? 257.
That's a really good pronunciation.
Sorry.
Body mass index, right?
You know, if Shane Gillis did a Japanese voice, he wouldn't have got fired.
No, that's true.
That's true.
By the way,
He
Shane
went-
didn't do anything wrong.
If he did, hey, you Godzilla, he would have been fine. You do that. The other one, which I don't, I can't get fired because I have nothing. But
But that's a Japanese accented.
yeah.
Yeah, very good. So
Hey, arigato.
the one I did last one was late November, December for 38 days.
Wow.
So you're locked up, and then
You
once
can't leave.
you cannot leave.
Is it like Stranger Things, like in a building like that, like some medical building where you have to wear the same clothes, or do you? Like
Yes, you have to wear. So the one I did in Arizona is mostly Mexicans and white people, and depends on the study. So one
so
study
black people are getting fucked there too.
they get paid less. It seems like
Really? Wow. Okay. Okay.
so.
I just threw in a joke, but when nobody laughs at that joke, it's just racist.
The,
I mean, guys, could you fake it, you tizzy twins?
at the facility in Arizona, you have a different uniform based on the different studies that you're doing. So if you're doing pancreatic, you wear all red. If you're doing liver cancer, you're all green or whatnot. So that way you could separate all the group. It does look like a prison sometimes.
100%.
Yeah. And
Or a mental ward. Can you turn the AC off?
so the one I did late last year, 37, 38 days, there's a schedule every day. But once you follow the schedule, outside of that schedule, you're free to do whatever, but you cannot leave the facility.
So you have to. What do they have in the facility for you to do? Just TV?
You have internet. You could walk around a little bit. You could read, watch TV, but you cannot do heavy exercise because that would really fuck up the medication.
That gets your heart
Big-
rate up too, right?
Right. When you exercise, your testosterone level go up, and that really fuck up the medication you're taking.
What about the food? Do they have good food?
Not really. And there some study insists you have to eat everything within 15 minutes. Other studies you could eat little or nothing, but they monitor you the whole time.
So like Japanese people, they fly them in. Do they give them Japanese food?
Mostly Japanese food, yes.
So they'll fly in like hunks of whale. Another joke. Thank you for laughing. That would've been, I mean, atrociously offensive if you guys didn't laugh. I mean, what the fuck?
I have to say they're pretty chewy. I don't know if you ever had those things.
Whale? You had whale?
Yeah,
It's not good.
they're a common dish in Japan.
Yeah, they give them to kids at school.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why? You're very
Buddy,
surprising.
I love Japan. I love Japanese people.
Yeah.
I love it. I would move there if I had billions, or not, I'd say millions. If I was a millionaire, I
Yeah.
would definitely have a house in Japan. 100%. I would not, like, baby, dude, I'll go to France or I'll go to Italy. I would go get a house in Japan.
I never knew this.
Yeah. I would have a house in Japan. I'd have a place in Aruba. I'd have a place up in Westchester, and I'd buy a place in Medford, Mass.
There's Tokyo Comedy Club. They do English shows,
Really?
and the homes are really, really cheap. Because most Japanese, it's offensive for most Japanese to buy a used old home. It's a bad luck. But foreigners are buying this beat up old home for nothing in Japan right now.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's buy a house together. You want to buy? Oh, you can't. We're gonna get into that.
I did go first time in 20 years, 6 months ago.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
After. We want to. I want to. This is weird to me because you get paid thousands of dollars to go get tested for something, right?
Yeah, the last study was 19,800 or something like that for
For
37 days.
37 days.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And they're shooting you up with this pancreatic cancer drug, and to see what it does to you, I don't understand.
Okay, so before they put the medication with people with problems, they have to give it to healthy candidate to see if there's allergic reaction or any
The
other
side
problem.
effects.
Yeah, you want to minimize that. So they do it in healthy people.
So Japanese people absorb it better, so you'll see results better.
Yeah, it's called oh god, I forgot the terms. But yeah, it enter our blood system faster than any other race, and we process it better than any other race. I don't know why, but we do. So they pay premium for that.
Wow. So a white person might get paid 20,000,
There's plenty of other study. They don't need Japanese, but
but on this one, so if there was Japanese people and there was a white person, they're getting paid less than you.
They just won't use a white person for that study.
Really?
Yeah.
So you went in and you did this thing, and now you're feeling side effects. You said
No. Last 6 months,
and you can't do anything about that, right?
no. So I qualified for 3 studies, right? I
Yeah.
check in first day. They double check, make sure everything's okay,
Yeah.
and then everything's
Well,
fine.
they have to make sure you're Japanese too, right?
They do that too.
That was a joke.
They do that too. They make
I
make
feel like
you,
I'm killing here. But I mean, yeah,
they make you write family tree. Make sure the both
they make you paint a tree, and that's your name.
like bonsai tree. Yes,
Sorry,
and
come on, I'm not gonna kill it.
but for some reason, last
To
3
shoot a bow and arrow off a horse. Nothing. All right, go ahead.
that's a
have-
Kurosawa reference. Now
You have to catch a koi fish in a pond with your hand.
damn, all these references. Amazing.
Thanks.
But last 3 studies, after I checked in next day, I still qualify, but for whatever reason, they only kept. So they would need if they need 10 people, they will bring 15 people. And for some reason, last 3 studies, I got cut. I mean, they
oh,
pay
you-
me $1,000 to stay for the night.
But they cut you out.
Yeah, this never happened before. Usually, if I get cut from one study, I'll make it into another one.
But you didn't make any of this last time.
Last 3 times, yeah.
Is there something? Did they tell you why?
They don't really tell you.
That's bad because maybe there's some. Maybe you have cancer. Maybe there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
sometimes they'll say like you didn't qualify because we noticed you have this problem.
Like
If
what?
For example, not what disease is that?
AIDS,
No,
herpes.
I can't remember. They said that I must have had exposure to some disease when I
Right.
was on.
Crabs,
No, but
crab AIDS,
it didn't affect
herpes crab AIDS.
It didn't affect me, but I was exposed to something when I'm young, and I don't qualify for these studies. Like I get medical checkup all the time, you
Mhm.
know, and
Yeah.
depends on the study. Like another study I could have done, but they were going to do a spinal shot fluid thing. I've done that twice. I don't want to do it for the third time.
Hurts, right?
It hurts like a motherfucker, and
So there's just places
you could get paralyzed.
See, and you signed all that away. If you get paralyzed, it's on
You're
you.
done. Yeah.
And they just, what do? They just throw you over a hill like Spartan babies?
I mean,
What do they just throw? What do they do?
nothing. I mean, if you signed it, unless there's a gross negligence on their part, you can't really do anything.
So that you just walk out. I mean, not walk out because you're crippled. They, I mean, how do they get rid of you?
I will roll out of there. No, I don't.
That's crazy.
There was a study one time. I was flying back from Europe, and there was a study in Spain. The drug company is French. Anyway, they inject this medication in Spain, and within 15 minutes, one person went to coma. Another person had a massive allergic reaction to it, and they mentioned like they're all
Yeah,
half of the people are Asian or something. Anyway, when my friends in LA heard that, they thought I was one of them, and I just happened to be flying at the time.
right.
So that 24-hour period, people thought I was paralyzed in Spain.
Jesus. And that drug was the Johnson and Johnson's
No,
COVID, right?
but what
Were you-
what I thought was wrong that next day, instead of contacting the hospital and make sure everybody was okay, they inject the second group, and I think they killed one person.
Jesus.
At least in the States, you could sue somebody, but in Europe, it's a gross negligence, So you have to be.
So
careful.
here you can sue them.
I mean, you have to prove to them they were really negligent. But
Oh, if you're dead,
well, yes,
that might be a proof.
but they used to do all kinds of unethical things. Like for example, Eli Lilly in Indianapolis, they used to grab homeless people. They're mentally ill, and they don't even know what they're signing,
Yeah,
and they're injecting drugs into them.
Yep.
This is like early '90s,
I have no problem with that.
and and
Literally, no problem. We should do that in New York. We should do that in Austin. Anywhere there's a homeless problem, LA, we should use them. Here's the deal. Use them, inject them, give them money, the ones that make it. The ones that don't, what are you going to do?
I kind of agree with you, especially. I agree with you. People in prison, they should be given the opportunity. Like, look, if you're willing to do this, we're gonna give a little bit of money, but most of the money to victims' family, right?
How about this? Yeah, well, okay, victims.
I really hate they use these dogs. It's just terrible what they're doing to this animal for drug testing.
So
because
you
they
think?
don't agree to do it, and
Yeah.
I,
Well, you don't know that. You don't know what "ruff, ruff" means. That could mean I'm good with this.
but they particularly like using beagles because
Why?
because they're very compliant animal. They never complain.
Because they're from Japan. Sorry, I'm killing it.
Shiba Inu.
by the way.
Um,
I'm just quipping the whole time.
but I've been using that money last 10, 11 years traveling the world.
Well, you do these studies, and
Yeah.
it's weird to me because nobody knows
Yeah.
that this is happening. We just get the thing on the shelf. I something happens to me.
Sure.
I go in, give the lady my thing, she hands me my thing, and I get better. Right?
Yeah.
But they have to test this shit somewhere. And in America, there's people in buildings like yourself
Yeah.
who are like, hey, man, I don't want to get a job. I don't want to get a steady job. I want to travel the world. I want to do my thing. So I'm going to go let these people inject me with whatever horse shit they're going to inject me.
Right.
Hopefully it's safe. I'm rolling the dice. I'm going to live there for 38 days. 38 days with a bunch of people I don't know.
100%.
No friends, no family, no chicks. Can you masturbate?
I've caught people doing it, because you have to share rooms with people, and
Were
especially
you
when
trying
what's
to
that?
catch them? Were you trying to catch them, or just you caught them?
I, this is something that they probably don't want me saying this, but most of the time they probably do in shower,
They do it in the shower.
But I've caught a couple of the guys doing it in.
You have
'cause
to share a room.
Yes, yeah.
This
Bunk
is
bed.
prison. This is prison, dude.
I've had rooms where we had like
This is fucking prison.
12, 14 guys in one room. I remember. One.
No,
Yeah.
that's a fucking jail cell. Was it blood in, blood out? Did you have to hang with just Asians?
And just like most porn guys, most of them have criminal records.
Right.
You know.
Because, yeah, this is an easy way to make a chunk of cash without going back to
They
jail.
will never check your criminal record. They don't care. They just want to make sure you're healthy.
Wow.
And they're traveling all over the country. They go to city, state to state.
Making this money.
Yeah, and they get text messages, emails, and they will talk. They're sharing information like you should go to this clinic because the food is better here, and easy to get it in. And this one makes money, and this one is a bunch of scumbags. They don't pay you money and things like that.
So there's a whole underbelly.
It's
in
like
this
Fight
coun-
Club. Yeah, there are these people
and
that
that just know how to run this system, make money, and you're rolling the dice. You might get something, you might get killed, something might happen to you when you let them do this.
It really, I haven't heard too many, but it does happen, and we don't remember our names because I just like if I saw you, you said like, "Hey, YO," and I say, BK or whatever, right? And like we have initials from like I remember from liver cancer 2017 or whatever, So like every once in a while we'll see each other.
YO, Yoshi,
Obayashi, yeah.
Obayashi. When you say YO, I thought that was Japanese.
Oh,
I was like, I don't know what that means. YO,
So-
I got it now. I'm stupid.
so they're traveling the country. My
Have you
friend
ever-
Dave did one for like 110 days.
Jesus, he lived in a place for a half a year?
You lay flat on the bed for 110 days.
Stop it. What are you talking about?
It's for NASA. They want to know how much your muscle atrophy in space. So you lay flat on the bed.
Where do you poop?
So you move and there's a hole. You open the hole. You shit and piss right there like that. And then when you shower, they take you to the shower and you're laying flat, kind of shower like that. And also someone in the room looking at you for 24/7, so you don't get up too high. You can move your head like maybe 40 degrees, but you have to stay pretty still for like 105, 10 days.
But you'll get bed sores, right?
Yeah. So when you finish, it takes you maybe 5, 6, 7 days to get back to normal again. My friend Dave did it 3 times in like a span of 4 years. It's like 55,000, 60 grand or something like that.
But that mentally does something to you. That's doing solitary confinement.
Yeah. You know what was funny during COVID? I was the happiest because I've been locked up for like 9, 10 years. So it wasn't anything new.
That
And they were paying more money too for medical testing. And it was very bizarre, man, because you go to these medical labs, they were also confused. Like they were asking me, like, "Hey, do you work at the other clinic? How are they dealing with the COVID?" So like, I was surprised. Like they were asking me.
because they don't know anything.
Nobody knew what was going on. And so what happened during COVID when we were doing the studies? You check in the hotel first 3 days, they pay you extra money, like $500-600 a day. they would make sure you don't have COVID. So that was like another additional $2,000-3,000 or whatever it was. Then these medical staff people show up in this crazy headgear, look like a scene from
Like
ET.
ET, yeah.
For real. And they have a whole monitor video, make sure you don't sneak out of there and talk to other people. And yeah, it was really crazy. And what I thought was interesting, people asking me, did I do any COVID studies? I would never do that because, for one, you don't get paid, and you have to be a sucker to do those because they haven't really had a lot of time experimenting on animals and stuff, you know.
Right, yeah.
But I understand people are desperate; they were in full fear. But
So have you ever seen one of the drugs that you tested for actually come out?
no. Well, I don't think so.
So all the times you've done it, it's never even mattered.
Well, I mean, they give you, so when you go in for interview, they give you like a huge document, about 50, 70 pages. You got to read the whole thing. It'll talk about who you're doing it for, what's it for, the side effect, possible problem, what does it do, how much you will pay.
So you have to write down on a piece of paper, I'm doing this to go see Chicago and the Son of Sam's house this summer. That's why you have to write down?
Kind of, but we could talk a little bit more, but we wrote letter to Son of Sam. He wrote back to us.
Wait, stop.
Okay.
Don't go into that yet.
Okay, yeah.
Because this is, you understand, people watching this, Yoshi, I know.
I'm not making that up. I'm not making it up.
I know, that's the problem. Is this not, it's not a problem. It's like, this is why you've always fashioned me. This guy, he does so many other things. You know how you have life.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I want to do that someday. I want to do that someday. You want to do that someday. I'd like to do that someday. But you pretty much do your jobs, maybe 1 or 2 jobs, and then hang with your family
Yeah.
and your friends. And these are things you never do, right? Let's call them regrets.
Yeah.
Mini life regrets. No, it's not going to affect your life. It's not like it made your life. You don't do that. You do all the things that you want to do. Like all those little things that I would say, that'd be cool to do. You do. And one of the things you do is I don't know, what's the word? Not hunt. What's the word? You chase.
Well, can I tell you something
Yeah,
about
please, go
doing
ahead.
that?
Yeah.
Doing that thing. I used to work at a porn shop in Seattle called Taboo Video.
Yeah.
And I used to have to deal with crackheads, right? They would come in because middle of the night they shoplift. I gotta say, I learned a very valuable lesson from crackheads. You could say whatever you want about them. First thing when they get up, or whenever they're up, they always do what they want to do. Like whenever you say like, I don't have time for this and that, it's a really excuse. If it's something's important to you, Bobby, you will always make time. Like you always make time for your son.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck.
Nope.
Career or whatever, you
Yeah.
always make, because this is important to you.
Yeah.
Crackheads, they don't give a fuck about their family. They don't care about their country. Crack is the number one thing, and they make effort every single minute of it. So if you put 5% of effort like crackhead, your life will be so much better because, you know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck about my credit report and career and things like that. Because I know what happened to my father in Japan. So if I want to do something, I don't care. I'm not going to let anything stop me from doing something.
Right.
So I do it. But I used to watch crackheads and like, I was really amazed. Like the focus, what they want to do,
Right.
they get it done.
They got to get crack.
Yeah. And so
And they got to find a way to get that money for the crack.
so when people say they don't have time, it's a lie.
Right. Go look at a crackhead.
It's not important to them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why, ladies, if a guy doesn't marry you, because it's not important for them to marry you,
Right.
and all kinds of stuff.
And
But
that's marital advice
yeah,
from Yoshi
crackheads.
Obayashi. Well, you said something about your dad. What do you mean about your dad?
Because most Japanese people are always afraid of offending their peers, family, so they always do what's right for everyone else except for themselves. You know.
And your dad did that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever done anything that made him happy.
Really?
But that's very typical of my father's generation. You know.
No, I don't. What do you?
I mean, after World War II, I think the generation from that, they want to rebuild Japan, so they sacrifice everything, you know.
Right.
But I think, who the hell is going to say at their deathbed, well, I'm glad they did all the overtime. Who's going to say that? You know, we're not going to live forever. But I think that's one of the major problems, one of many problems in Japan, where people are not living their full potential or trying to make themselves happy, you know.
What did your dad do for work?
insurance company.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
And he just worked all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not the Asian people love working. It's just that if you work all the time, you don't have to work and work on your own happiness,
Right.
you know.
Because you're working at somebody, you're working to make somebody else happy.
Yeah, so you have no responsibility for your own happiness, you know.
How many people lived in your house?
When I was growing up,
Yeah.
myself, my younger brother, my mom, and my dad, but they got divorced really.
Where did you grow up?
Osaka, Japan, and then 1980, my mother kidnapped myself and my younger brother, and we flew into the States.
Is that kidnapping?
She said we're flying from Osaka, Japan to Tokyo. And when we woke up next day, we're in Hawaii, and that's when my mother said, "By the way, your dad and I were divorced." And,
That's how you found out.
yeah, and then after that, my mom dropped myself and my younger brother to her older sister, and then
Where?
in Bremerton, Washington, Seattle.
Yeah, yeah.
basically, yeah.
So she dropped you off up there, and then what did she do?
She went back to Japan.
For what?
Work. I think that the plan originally was keep us in States for a couple years and go back to Japan, but that never happened. You know. By the way, I'm also ethnically Korean.
What?
Yeah.
Get out.
So the relative we were living in Washington State only spoke English.
That's a whole different soup.
Only spoke.
Thank you, Max.
I'm closer to Steve Byrne more than anything. But the family we were living in Washington State, they spoke English and Korean. They didn't speak Japanese. So we were living with relative that really didn't know, and we couldn't really communicate with them because they didn't speak Japanese. So it was a really confusing time for us. And also, Bremerton, Washington is a Navy town, and they had battleship USS Missouri where Japanese signed surrender. So we were getting our asses kicked every day. 'Cause
Oh, you're getting beat up?
they hate Japanese people.
Why? That's what I don't understand.
But I'm ethnically Korean, so we were getting beat up by Filipinos and Korean Chinese kids too.
Really? So even other Asian kids
I mean,
don't.
when they say Asian hate, you know who hate Asian people?
Who?
Asian people.
They do?
Oh yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by GhostBed. A great night's sleep is important to anybody, not just comedians. GhostBed makes premium mattresses at an affordable price, all designed for cooler and more comfortable sleep. Take advantage of a free and fast shipping, their 101-night mattress trial, and financing starting at just $35 a month. You heard me. You can get a brand new mattress for as low as $35 a month. Listeners get 40% off all products site-wide. You can get 40% off mattresses, adjustable bases, and bedding accessories, or get 50% off when you bundle a mattress with an adjustable base. Use promo code YKWD at ghostbed.com/YKWD for 40% off site-wide, limited time only. So I don't understand. So you got your
Well,
ass
I mean,
kicked-
because Japan.
You didn't get your ass. But don't, when you say, the battleship
USS Missouri.
Missouri was there, and then I just picture these little freckled redhead kids beating you up.
Some, but it's more other Asian kids.
Why don't they like you?
Because, for example, the Filipino kids, their grandpas say, "Oh, he's a Japanese kid. Go and beat him up."
Really?
Well, I mean, the Japanese did terrible things in Philippines: Bataan Death March and torture and murder and God,
You guys did a bunch of terrible. You did Pearl Harbor to us, and we like you. I mean, what the fuck?
I don't.
I mean, I don't understand. Get over it, Filipinos.
Yeah, they no.
Wow. So you got your butt kicked. Did you learn anything? Did you learn any martial arts or anything? Or did you just take the beating?
I took classes, but all of them also knew. You know, like if you already know martial arts, it's kind of wash, right?
What do you mean?
Well, it's me versus 5 Filipino kids. What am I going to do at 10 years old? You're like,
Dude, I don't know if you've ever seen a Bruce Lee movie. I don't know. Beat the shit out of all of them with nunchucks.
no, I was
Oh.
terrible at it.
Really?
I mean, I took kendo when I was a kid, but the sword fighting, I'm not going to carry around.
Why not? This is shit. Get a wooden sword and smack him in the head.
But I understood
yeah,
because I was an odd kid too in Japan. I was getting beat up in Japan too.
you got beat up in Japan.
Yeah.
Why?
So in Japan, we have a thing called ijime. So it's a where group of kids will find one kid that they don't like and they would just pick on that kid. It's a very common thing in Japan because you're supposed to be same like everyone else, and if you stick out and a little different,
Yeah.
the group feel they have a responsibility to beat up that kid until that kid becomes normal like everyone else.
And what was different about you?
Well, because I'm ethnically Korean, my mother raised us a little different, so there's a little difference that
So
they
your mother's
noticed.
Korean.
What?
Your mother's Korean,
Yeah.
and your father's Japanese.
No, he was born in Japan, but he was also ethnically Korean.
So you had two. So you're not really Japanese.
No.
You're Korean.
Well, we're called Zainichi Koreans.
What the fuck is that?
So,
Are you all? Is your blood Korean?
yes.
And you're outside.
But the Korean people in Korea do not like us either.
Why? What? Should I have you on the show? I mean, nobody likes you. Am I doing the wrong thing?
So last year, there was two shows, right?
Yeah.
Pachinko on Apple TV and Tokyo Vice on HBO.
Yes.
It was the first time in two television shows where they talk about Zainichi Koreans or Japanese Koreans and their special ethnic groups. And I was shocked because white people will ask me, "Are you Zainichi?" And they're like, it's really strange. Just like Russell Peters is Anglo-Indian. He's not Indian, really.
No.
So to be Zainichi, you have to be.
I think he's Puerto Rican. I think he's just into people. But he was a goofy I think he's a Puerto Rican with a touch of Down syndrome.
He's more black, but yeah.
he's more. Yeah, he's a. Go ahead.
So Zainichi Koreans are any Korean living in Japan 1945 and their descendant because Japan occupied Korea and they brought us to Japan as a slave labor. So we're kind of like the blacks of Japan.
Wow, because Japan was about to conquer everybody.
I mean, attacking USA was the biggest mistake, obviously.
Because if you didn't attack us, we ain't fucking with you.
No.
And you would have you would have had China, you would have Korea,
Southeast Asia, yeah.
you would have had. I mean, all of that would have been Japanese right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think.
And then we should have let you take it all over, and then go beat the shit out of you guys.
But President Roosevelt was very happy when we bombed Pearl Harbor.
Why?
Then now we have excuse to go to war with Japan.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you guys conquered China, I believe that. I mean, look, if people don't know, Japan is this little strip of island
Yeah.
off of this huge country. I mean, it's massive, and you guys were looking. Japan was looking to take over all of that.
Yeah.
And you guys beat the shit out of the Chinese.
Yes.
You guys,
It's terrible.
You guys, I mean, you did some hard shit to them.
Yeah.
And after that, they were like, never again. We might not beat them with our fighters, right?
Yes.
But we will beat them with numbers. So they were like, we are going to have as many babies as we can have, men. That's why they were like, if you have a girl, take it, goodbye. And they were like, we're going to have, so you have 1 million people come attack us, we're going to have 10 million.
Yes.
Am I correct?
100%.
Right.
But what's funny is Chairman Mao was glad the Japanese invade China
Yeah.
because it gave them kind of really weird reference, but like almost like a playoff, like a fighting experience. So when the Chinese were fighting Japanese, especially the Mao's army was fighting Japanese, it gave them good fighting experience. And by the time they defeated Japan, they defeated the rest of the Chinese groups and ended up beating them. So they sent all those rest of the Chinese to Taiwan,
Right. Now they're going to take Taiwan.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going to happen to Japan. Because China is becoming a huge,
Massive power. Yeah.
huge. I mean, yeah. I mean, they're in everything. I mean, they pretty much own Africa. They own the Spice Road.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Right?
You're 100% right.
And they're. I don't know if I should be offended at your shock of my knowledge. I mean, this is. I mean, you're
No,
look-
I don't.
You're looking at
I'm
me
not an insult.
like-
I don't mean like to insult.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
just
you're going,
like,
wow, you know something.
Yeah. I don't mean it like that.
I'm sure the people watching are fucking pretty well. That's crazy too, but yeah, I mean,
But the thing with Asian people, we're dishonest. We don't like telling honest things. So there is
I didn't say that, by the way.
no, but
I didn't. Yeah, good.
but I'm saying it.
I'm nodding like saying yes. I'm not nodding like I agree. But go ahead. That's right. What'd you
This
say
is where the West is far superior because you guys are so honest.
Okay.
You're a lot of criticism, and China have plenty of internal problems. That the population problem, they're going down.
Well, because the population's going down.
Yes. In fact, India is going to surpass them relatively soon. Now, imagine if you have a social security system where you're expecting young people to take care of old people. But now we're getting to the point where you have less young people, and each one of those people are getting into the position where they're burdened with taking care of older folks.
Yep.
And this is a humongous problem in China. And you can't overnight change people's behavior to have more kids all of a sudden. They got comfortable having very few kids.
Yeah, and boys.
Yes. And the reason why you have big family because the parents are expecting them to take care of themselves. Well,
But they
now
don't-
that they have money, they don't need to have kids taking care of them.
Right. And plus, also, you have that many people. How are you going to feed all these people?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a communist country. You have to supply a lot of shit. And
Well, that's why they're in Africa for raw material. you know.
right. Yeah. I mean, they're pillaging. They're buying. They're pretty much doing what England did.
Yes.
The
But
British
they're,
did.
they're conquering through money.
Yeah, not through fights. You know, England would go over and just beat the shit out of somebody and then take it, and then add in Christianity and convert everybody,
Yeah.
and then put in their things, and it would say, "Oh, this is better now," which it was.
Yeah.
It was more civil, but it wasn't their culture. You robbed their culture and their land. But in the last 100 years, they had to give it all back.
Yes.
I mean, Hong Kong in our lifetime
1997. Yeah.
was British,
Yes.
and now it's China. It's China.
I think what Chinese are doing in Africa, traditionally you have two ways of conquering people by violence, but the worst one is you loan money to them, then you really got them by the balls.
And they
Yeah.
did it to us.
Yes, and
There's Chinese police stations in
yes, New York.
there's a they have their own, which is nuts. They have their own consulate.
Yeah,
They have their own. I lived on 43rd between 10th and 11th, and all of a sudden they just put up this building, and it's a Chinese, not a it's like a Chinese hotel, and it's security, and it's a secure building, and
yeah. They're monitoring other Chinese
Wow.
citizens living in the States. Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
So what's going to happen to Japan if China becomes the motherfucker? You think they're going to try to take Japan?
Well, I know they're making a lot of alliances with. They're in serious situation when they're talking to Koreans because Korean people, rightfully so, Korean people don't like Japanese, but they're pragmatic too. They're making security deal with Japan, and I think Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, and these countries concerned about China, they're trying to help each other. But I think you don't want to exaggerate China's power because they have a lot of problems too. But invading Japan and island like Taiwan, it's a very complicated thing, And I think they're watching what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. They don't want to suffer this consequence from the whole world turning against you.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to get into that mess. I hope they just wait until Taiwan say we want to join China. I know that sounds like science fiction, but that's more my preference.
You want Taiwan to just say we want to be part of China
I rather
because that's going to
persuasion
fuck
than-
us though. Because all of there's a lot of shit that we get from Taiwan.
The
a lot of
microchip is number one thing.
You can't get a car anymore.
No.
You have to wait 4-6 months for a car or anything because of the microchips that are made in Taiwan.
They're the number one in the world, and they just made their new facility in Arizona.
Good.
So in case there's a problem, but yeah, you're right. I mean, everyone makes microchips, but Taiwanese make the most important ones, the very sophisticated ones. Yeah.
It's a weird. Now let me ask you a question:
Uh-huh.
if this all does go down, whose side are you on?
USA.
Okay, you heard it here. So don't beat him up if you see him. He's one of us, even though he says USA a little weird, right?
If
Listen,
you can't beat them, join them,
what,
right?
what,
So-
now you didn't go back to Japan for a while, man. Because
yeah. I went.
I don't know if you can't. You don't want to talk about that.
No, that's fine.
This is crazy. You go ahead, talk.
So they found my father's body in August of 2003, and basically, make it short, we don't know if it was suicide or murder.
Godzilla. Oh, sorry.
So
Sorry, I made a joke about your dead dad.
no, go ahead.
I said Godzilla. We don't know if it was suicide or baby Godzilla's hot rings. Nothing? All right. I'm sorry. So your father passed. That's stupid of me. I feel so bad.
No. It's
All right,
I,
so
I
he
joked
told-
about it many times. You know?
Okay, I know. You. That's why I love you, because you're sickest comic I know.
But
Right.
you know this well as I do, that if you're going to make fun of things, you can't cry about somebody making fun of your personal tragedy. It doesn't work like that,
No,
you know,
you're right. So your father either committed suicide
or murdered.
or Godzilla.
my step
Can we just
my-
throw that in?
my stepmother.
Was friends with Godzilla. I'm sorry. Mothra.
So at the funeral, I ended up kicking the shit out of my stepmother.
Whoa! Back up.
You know this.
I know, but I want them
Oh,
to know
okay.
this. Don't ever pull the curtain away from my fucking dramatic story.
Sorry.
Man. You know, so your stepmom, you think something was a little awry with your stepmom.
Well, the last time I saw my dad, it was really hard for him, but he finally admitted the whole time my dad was married to my stepmother, she was cheating on my dad, mistreating my father.
Really?
At one point, trying to poison him,
Shit.
and then, but typical Asian people, none of my family member in Japan would never tell me after he passed away. So I was really angry when I flew back. I was also mad at my dad because why can't you stand up for yourself? You know,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't. He just couldn't do it.
Were you friends with your dad?
I was very close, but my dad comes from very, so, you know, it was not a good home, and he had 5 or 6 overbearing sisters. So he was very passive. My dad never hit me. My mother used to hit me all the time, and
And your dad, you
he couldn't really stand up for himself, you know.
Right, yeah.
And my stepmother was taking advantage of him, so I didn't know any of it until he passed away.
How'd you find out?
I got an email from my cousin, and Tom Segura liked this email. It only had 2 words in the email. It just said "Papa dead." That was my
Wasn't that a Madonna song? Oh, that was Papa Don't Preach. I fucked up. I'm sorry. Apologize again.
no decency, not even capitalized P. Just "Papa dead," and that's it. And because my family emotionally is
You
stunted,
sure it wasn't Papa Godzilla? Sorry.
I thought it was a joke, you know.
That's
So I
Papa-
called back, and of course they told me
Papa dead?
they found his body, and he
Oh, where'd they find him?
at the home, and he was decomposed.
Oh, shit. Where's she? Where's the stepwife?
I guess they were separated at that
Okay.
point. So when they found the body, I'm not going to use the word, but I went to the police station. My dad was so dark; he looked like the character Nightcrawler from Marvel. It's just completely black, you know.
Yeah.
And he was hanging from the ceiling, and
You could have said Patrice.
no. Well, I don't
Don't-
want to do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it. I said in Joe Rogan, and almost got him in trouble. So I'm not going to say it. But
Yeah, please. Joe Rogan has a $500 million.
yeah.
I got a couple thousand in the bank.
So at the funeral, I saw her with my aunt, and it wasn't premeditated. But my aunt said, "You fucking bitch! You killed my brother" in Japanese. She walked away.
She said that to your stepmom.
Yeah, and she doesn't say anything.
And
And
you-
we're on top of the mountain because of different steps, and there's different cemeteries. We're in the highest point.
Yeah,
and
Mount Fuji.
we were up there, and unfortunately for my stepmother, she doesn't know my temper.
Oh, yeah.
She thought I was pushover like my dad, and,
Right.
and next thing you know, I didn't like I said, I didn't plan for it because I didn't think I had a opportunity to be in a place by myself, and I guess next thing you know, I'm just kicking the shit out of her,
Right.
and at one point, I spread her leg and just stumped between her legs and made a cracking sound.
Okay, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw.
Mazel tov. But
You-
anyway, then some old lady screamed
Because
because
she
I
heard-
blacked out.
You blacked out.
I'm just almost
Well,
kicking her
this-
side of her
Let's
head.
just give a little context to this.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a woman that quite potentially could have killed your father.
Left Hansa dead. Always rude to him, mistreated him, poisoned him. Left a whole bunch of dead. And my dad was a really soft-spoken, kind person.
And this is somebody that abused your dad over years
And he would
And-
never say anything to
and
me.
never picked it. And then you knew about this. And this is the first time you've seen her.
Yeah, after
And-
my
and
dad
it-
passed
and
away.
it all
yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I assaulted her nephew, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law.
Really?
Then I ran, and I forced my cousin to drive out of there, and we drove maybe 5 minutes away from cemetery, and we went to a cafe, and I'm drinking coffee with my cousin, and within 15 minutes, we hear paramedics going up the mountain, and the person serving the coffee's talking to another lady, another waitress. They were saying like, "What's going on?" Oh, some crazy person beat up a lady at the top of the mountain cemetery, and she doesn't realize that was me.
That was you.
Yeah, but I'm just calm,
Yeah.
And then after that, I made my cousin drive me to downtown Osaka. I hop on the train. I went to the airport. Luckily, there was one more flight that day, United Airlines. They made a change for me, and I flew out. I haven't been back until February or March of this year because Russell Peters' brother said, "Hey, would you mind going to Japan?"
With you.
Yeah, because I need a translator and somebody to travel. Now, 10 years ago, Joe Rogan asked me to go to Japan, but I was a little worried about getting arrested. But Russell's family done so much for me, so I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
So I went, and I was really, really nervous because I thought I'll get arrested. at
As
the
soon as they
airport.
see your passport warrant for your arrest.
That's what I thought.
But
you know.
maybe they didn't press charges.
I don't know how things work over there, but I found out later two things. One, police usually don't like getting into family dispute because technically she is my stepmother,
Yeah.
and two, I was flying out of Taipei to Japan. I just traveled part of Asia because Russell was doing a bunch of show there, and I was really nervous because I'm flying out of Taipei to Osaka, Japan, my home, right? And
You must have been shitting your pants.
yes, and at the terminal, it was basically all Asian people, Taiwanese, Chinese, mostly Japanese. I'm really nervous, and there's this one white guy keep looking at me. I'm talking to my friend on the phone, being nervous. I don't know what to do, and he kept looking at me. He walked up to me eventually and said, "Are you Yoshi?"
Wow.
And I was like, yes. And most people don't recognize me, but my stupid accented voice they recognize right away
Yeah.
for some reason. So evidently, Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer was talking about me one time,
Yeah.
and Bert said something about, that thing that Yoshi did in Japan. Well, this motherfucker just happened to be there and searched like a couple years beforehand.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of it. So I didn't want to talk about it, but this fucker wouldn't shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk about
You're in the place. You haven't been there in 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years, like 20 years,
Yeah.
19 years and 6 months. But I don't want to be rude because he might say something at the airport.
Right.
So like, oh, I don't think it's that big deal. It's no
Yeah.
big deal. But
Yeah.
but so Jeremy, whatever his name was, so he's sitting way in the back. And then as soon as I land, I'm going through the terminal, and I haven't been in about 20 years, and I go up to the custom,
Oh no.
and I'm really shaking, because at least prison in America have rights. In Japan, it is a completely different. Amnesty International said that prison in Japan is incredibly inhumane
Yeah.
and terrible, and I'm ethnically Korean. They don't like us, so I'm just sweating.
Yeah,
like-
but we do know you can fight women.
yes, I could fight midgets. I could
Yeah.
fight crackheads.
You
but
beat
if
the
I can't
shit.
fight-
You beat the shit out of a woman, but we do have rage inside you.
yes, I can't fight a man. But so he scanned everything, my U.S. passport, everything. He doesn't say anything, typical Japanese person, no personality. I'm just sweating, like, oh my God. Then he gave me the passport, and I just walk away, I thought, oh my God, I guess there's no. Then 15, 20 seconds later, I look over, the guy's running behind me. For a split second, I thought, I'm going to fucking run out of airport,
Right.
But there's a bunch of cop front of me too. So I think if I run, they'll catch me. I didn't know what to do, man. So I looked down and he goes, "Sir, you forgot your passport." I was so
Ah.
nervous. I left the fucking passport.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
So I walked out. I later on I talked to my friend John. He's American from Seattle.
Yeah, that'd be funny if you're like, oh, I thought you were gonna thank you. I thought you were gonna arrest me for breaking that old lady's dead 19 years ago. All right, dude, thanks.
I mean, I was kicking her head. Her
Oh,
eye was
God.
ready to pop out.
Oh my
So,
God.
anyway, I find out through my lawyer, technically they do have statute of limitation, but here's the catch. You have to be in Japan the whole time. So I beat up my stepmother day one, and I ended up staying in Japan for like 8, 9 days. Technically, there's only 9 days that pass in 15 years statute of limitation.
Because you left.
Yeah, so
How many you have what's the statute of limitation? How many years?
10 years, but you have to be there in 10 years.
So you got started day 10.
yes.
Oof.
So
So do you think they know you're in town? Your family knows you're in town? You didn't tell anybody, right?
I didn't tell anyone.
You don't want to tell anybody because they'll rat you out. They'll tell somebody.
My third cousin in Tokyo, he told me they know that family, that the family that I beat up.
Yeah.
They say that they understand why I did it. They don't want to have any more problems. We'd like to move on. But, I hang out with you, Patrice, and Jim Norton. I'm too honest. I said, like, well, first of all, the stepmother say, I forgive you. Well, first of all, I'm not asking for forgiveness. You're not in a position to do that. And two, you're alive because I let you live.
Okay, that's pretty.
And if I ever see you again, I'll
Yeah.
kick the shit out of you. So I say,
Again.
I just made it clear to them.
Yeah. But you feel that way still?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Hey, guys.
I
Is
think
he
it's.
Is he staring at me? No, I'm kidding.
Well, Bob, if somebody did something to your family, I don't think you'll forgive those people.
My mother? I might. I might.
Okay,
might.
your son for sure. There's no way.
Yesterday, he was being a kid.
Oh my
No,
God.
I'm kidding. No, of course. Man, look.
There's something
You know,
unforgivable.
listen, family's family.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would act if somebody did something to my mom or
Yeah.
my family like that. And
know
I,
that
de-
you-
I definitely know. I don't know how I would act in front of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In your brain, you think that maybe, you'll keep your shit together. Blah blah blah. I snapped at the guy up at Mount Kisco go-kart racing the other day.
Yeah.
Because they fucked up Max's birthday thing.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go out. It was like the hamburgers had mustard on them. There was no French fries. There was no cups. Then there was no thing. And then she's cutting the cake. She has an attitude, and I'm like, it's just building. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to the guy.
Yeah.
And I walked out with the intentions of just being like, listen. And when it built,
Yeah.
and I was like, listen, and he was like, sir. I go, let me fin it, and I snapped.
Yeah.
And it worked. It made me feel better, and they fixed everything. But you have if
But I don't enjoy it. I don't think you do either.
I don't enjoy it,
Yeah.
and I felt crappy after.
Sure.
You don't enjoy nobody. If you enjoy that, there's something wrong with you.
It makes
You,
me.
you have an emotional hangover forever
Yeah.
until you're able to deal with it. But you can't.
It makes me queasy. It doesn't make me feel good, but it's a problem, man. It
Yeah.
just but it that only happened like something personal,
Yeah.
people that you care about.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
yeah, I'm comparing your father's death to mustard on a hot dog and a hamburger. I don't have that type of problems you
Yeah.
have. I mean, I'm American.
But if it's real to you, it doesn't matter what it is, But
It's crazy. But so now, do you think you could go back?
I
Or you?
I'll be honest. I didn't realize how much I missed the place, and if you go to a place once a year, 20 years, you don't really notice that big of a difference. But I really was truly shocked when you're away 19 years. It does feel like another country, and I was shocked how much I missed the place.
I love it.
And I'm sure you're growing up from Boston, correct?
Yep.
So there's certain food or taste or smell that reminds you of childhood, right?
Yeah.
I fucking forgot about that for 20 years, And my cousin and I, we took a train up to Fukushima and we went, and first of all, there's no fucking kids, man. They're just crazy what's going on in Japan. That the population is just
Yeah, well, they have no children, right?
no. It's a different from China. China is political policy. In Japan, it's a cultural problem, and I was really kind of shocked how few kids we saw. And at one point we had 100 million people. They're talking about like 55, 60 million, like 50 years or something. That's insane.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I don't know what is the solution. Everybody knows there's a problem.
I have one. You guys need to fuck more
Yes,
and jizz inside Japanese vaginas.
that's 100% right.
Yeah,
No, for real.
sure.
And here's another solution. Two things. Bring a lot of Mexicans over.
No, don't do that. Nobody wants to see a Japanese Mexican.
No, there's a lot of, I don't know if you know this, in Tokyo, there's a
Isn't
huge,
that a Korean?
no. In Tokyo, there's this huge Mexican / Cholo culture.
Yeah.
The Japanese love the Mexican culture quite a bit. But number one solution, I know this sounds like a weird thing to say. If you make divorce easy to do and you give women more rights, more women will think to get married and take a chance. But right now, when they get divorced, they have so little rights.
Right.
Why would any rational Japanese woman get married knowing
Right.
that they're fucked,
Hey, don't give women rights. I mean, we did it here and they ruined television and comedy.
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Great, you're saying that, and I'm just kicking the shit out of old ladies.
I know. We really hate women on this
Yeah.
show. Here's another thing I wanted to bring up.
Uh-huh.
Because you do all these testings and you go like you do. You've been to Son of Sam house. He sent you a letter.
So I'm friend with a comedian named Stephen Briggs in L.A.
Yeah.
And his father was friend with him. His father was friend with David Berkowitz.
Right.
And when Stephen wrote a letter, Berkowitz wrote back and said, "Oh yeah, I remember your father. We used to play basketball in 70s."
Right.
And we were trying to have him. Stephen wanted to do one man show where he's interacting with Son of Sam, but he stopped writing to us after third or fourth letter.
Why?
I don't know. He just stopped.
Yeah.
And I also met John Mohammed, the DC sniper. He used to live in
You met him?
he was living in Tacoma, Washington, because he was Army in Fort Lewis. He used to come to my mother's Japanese buying. I know it sounds racist, but chicken teriyaki. He's black and everything.
Yeah.
So he used to come in, and I thought that shooting happened 20 years ago. I was like, I look at the picture, and like, wow, I'm as racist. I think every black person. But I look at his background. It was him. He used to come to my mom's
Oh
restaurant.
no shit.
Yeah. And right now, I'm working a project called 169 with my friend Mikey Slyman. He's a comedian in Vegas. His childhood friend was a guy named Joshua Nichols, and that name should mean anything to you. But Joshua Nichols is son of Terry Nichols. Do you recognize that name?
Mm-mm.
Terry Nichols was a friend of Timothy McVeigh. They bombed Oklahoma City. So we're doing a project with him, and we call it 169 because we also think Joshua is a victim. So 168 people died.
Mm-hmm.
And Joshua was 10 years old when his father got in trouble for Oklahoma City bombing. So ever since then, anytime he did anything, they call him son of Oklahoma City bombing.
Mm.
They kicked him out. He couldn't go back to school. And
Because of his father.
yeah.
Wow.
So, in Hollywood, if your parents are star, you get all the unfair advantage.
Yeah.
And if your father is a serial killer or terrorist, you take all the burden. You have nothing to do with it. You take that burden.
Yeah.
It's a terrible when you have nothing to do with it, and
Now
people stop talking to you. He couldn't go back to school. So, but you couldn't find a kinder person, man.
yeah, that sucks.
But he's
That's
going.
an interesting. Is it a documentary?
We're working right now, and he's going back to prison soon.
The nice guy.
Yeah, because he had a dispute. Well, don't look away. Don't look away. Don't
I
look.
thought you said he was a nice guy. What the fuck, dude? I'm picturing a blonde, beautiful young kid, or this guy who's just a nice guy. But what was he in prison for?
So somebody owed him a money, and he never learned conflict resolution. So instead of asking money gently, he got in a fight and ended up, I guess, technically, if you want to call it kidnapping. So he got in trouble for
Oh my
that.
god! I mean, listen, dude. Fuck this kid.
And,
Listen,
and here's the thing, Bobby. So because
I don't want to see this documentary anymore.
so because he's going to prison soon,
Yeah.
he's going to prison soon, and his father Terry Nichols been in Supermax in Florence, Colorado for
There'll be a
like
family reunion.
they're able to talk. This is going to be their last time talking because Terry's kind of getting up there in age.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City bombing is coming up in 2 years, 30th anniversary. And once Josh go to prison, I don't think they're going to talk again. So
Right.
we record 5 conversations between the two. For probably going to be a last time,
Yeah.
And
You see if Lego will make a Oklahoma City building. For the 30th
I know some of
anniversary.
your sick fans going to make one.
Wow.
And you know what happened? One time,
Yeah. A bunch of people died because your fucking sick father's friend.
my friend Mikey
Yeah.
was friend with Joshua Nichols, and he also knew Terry Nichols as a
Yeah.
kid.
Right.
And when they were talking, so I think about a year ago, Terry Nichols, obviously the bomber, called Mikey and told him interesting story. He said, "Hey, by the way, I was talking about this project about yours,
Mm-hmm.
possibly documentary, possibly pod, and you know what? Ted want to talk to you guys.
Really?
And you know which Ted we're talking about?
Ted?
Ted Kaczynski, because they're in Supermax. It's
Wow.
in the Florence, Colorado. So this particular
Yeah.
cell row, one of them which is the Boston bomber. He's the neighbor,
Yeah.
Ted Kaczynski and Terry Nichols. They call the Bombers Alley. All the bombers in this one particular part in Supermax in Florence,
Right.
Colorado. And I don't know how they talk to each other, but unless Terry Nichols was lying, he told Mikey and like Ted want to talk to him, which is interesting because 6 months before I heard about this, I went to Lincoln, Montana. I went to Ted Kaczynski's home. In the library, he used to do research to make bombs and stuff. So I hang out in Lincoln, Montana, too.
You do a lot of this stuff.
I've been most of it, yeah.
You like to go to the places these people were and sit down and be there and
Where
you
they
were-
ate, where they went to school, I check all that. I just got back from Munich for Mohammed Atta, the leader of 9/11. I went to his school. I went to his apartment. I even went to Minneapolis where George Floyd got killed because George Floyd did porn. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
Yeah, so I consider him as a colleague. And
And you
great
should-
great performer,
you
by the
should
way.
consider the other guy who's going to prison as a colleague too,
Yeah.
because you both beat people up for shit.
And I think I know you and Jimmy and Patrice know me. I don't mean any malice, but
Right.
I do stuff sometimes weird or odd.
Yeah.
But you guys know me well enough that you will never jump to conclusion.
No, no, no.
But others see me do something, they get upset, and I don't mean disrespect. But for example, and I'm being careful when I say this, I didn't mean to do it, but when I was in Minneapolis, I lay flat where Floyd got killed. I want to know what was like the angle was like,
Yeah.
and I stand as a cop.
And then you asked a white guy to put his knee on your neck.
No. I was
Excuse me. Could you please put knee on my neck? I want to feel.
this black lady. What the fuck? She started yelling at me. I didn't mean it like that, but I'm trying to look at it from their angle. Like I don't understand why would you do that? I'm just laying flat, looking up.
Yeah, where a
and-
guy
and-
died.
and sitting on the
Still a
knee.
body mark.
Yeah. I also went where Michael Brown got killed in
Right.
Ferguson. I went to and during COVID it was so
Did you
cheap
rent
to-
a convertible and drive the JFK route?
But I went to the grocery store. Michael Brown got caught shoplifting, and this Indian guy looked like Russell Peters. He was yelling at me, like, taking forever to shop. I bought the same item that he shoplifted. I bought it from there.
Right.
I went to the spot where he got killed, and
You
I
just-
went to every riots during COVID. I went to most of the famous black person getting killed by cops. I went good portion of the serial killer and anything with terrorism.
Because you find it interesting. And that's why you do these things, so you can have the money to do that.
I did it, and I didn't know why I was doing it, and so what? So this is what happened, Bobby. I guess I was kind of trained to do this because Well, this is what my dad used to do. This, like, my dad wasn't athletic, so we didn't go to sports event. He wasn't intellectual, so we didn't go to museum. He liked movie, but we didn't really see too many movies. But what my dad used to do when I was a kid, he would take me all the horrible places in Japan where this is a place somebody got murdered, or this was a serial killer, or this is where the atomic bombs were dropped. So I got habit of going those places because my dad used to take me play. He get really graphic how somebody got murdered or
Did
and I'm like just a fucking kid, but I mean that's what he was into.
yeah.
Well, so what happened was 2021. I was in Dubai. I was doing the whole round the world trip. I had friends there, and I met a guy named Vinay. He worked for U.S. government. He was a assistant to a U.S. diplomat to Afghanistan, Pakistan. So I got to know him through one of my friends. I jokingly asked him because he worked for U.S. government. Can you give me the list of porn that Bin Laden watched? Because the reason I'm interested in the kind of porn you watch tell me everything I need to know about you.
Oh shit.
It's like emotional credit report,
Sure. Yeah, I'm fucked. Go ahead.
So he said, I don't know if I could get that list for you. Probably difficult.
Yeah.
But it's funny you ask. I have a friend named Kareem, lives in D.C. He's writing a book about sexual proclivities of terrorists. We'll make the story short. I've been going to D.C. helping this guy because he's academic and I'm a pervert. It takes a pervert to catch another pervert.
Yeah.
So because I've been going through this serial killer terrorism shit for all my life, I've been going to DC last 2 years, and this is a serious book that would be published within a year and a half, 2 months. And his publisher, I forgot the lady representing him, but she represents Cormac McCarthy, who wrote No Country for Old Men. So she's a real serious publisher.
Yeah.
So did you ever watch Mindhunter on Netflix?
Yeah.
So it's a perv hunter. So I'm assisting Kareem with this book. So we covered 7 terrorists. And funny, some of them I've already done research on my own with my money. So when I met him, he kind of laughed because I already know half of that stuff.
Right.
But my angle is because sex is such a difficult thing to talk for most people,
Yeah.
and sex is definitely a difficult thing to study in college and
Yeah.
university because people don't want to put resource to research studies
Yeah.
sex. They'll put money with cognitive science, with violence,
Yeah.
but they don't want to give money for cognitive science and sex, So you take a lot of career chance when you do that.
Well, people don't know that you were in the sex industry.
For a long time, yeah.
You worked for
Evil Angel,
Evil Angel,
big
and you
company.
edited
porn.
porn.
And
And,
I'm a DVD producer, and I also did PR for the company.
yeah.
But
'Cause you guys don't know that he would show up at a gig in LA, and after the show, he'd be like, "Hey, man, do you want some porn?" And he'd open up his trunk, and he'd just have DVDs of the most horrific shit ever and dildos. Just
yeah,
he would just have, "You want some dildos?" And he just gives you dildos. He's like, "I don't know what to do with these."
I used to give Patrice those glass dildos and stuff like that. And,
Yeah,
And but what I find it really interesting, sometimes I put a tranny porn in there.
Yeah.
And some of the comedians complain,
Yeah.
but it's a really bad acting. Like I know they loved it.
Hey, man, why would you? And they give it back to you. It's,
Yeah.
it's like a cum on it. The cover's ripped off.
But there's a couple comedians like, oh, give me more of that. So
Oh, really?
yeah. But
They wanted more tranny porn.
But Jim Norton's number one. There's times Jim knew more than I did.
Jim,
Like one time we were watching Hangover 2.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of transsexual.
he knew them all.
There's one I couldn't pinpoint because she was in a movie, porn movie that I did DVD for. I forgot the person's name, stage name. Not only did Jim knows that person's stage name, real
Yep.
name, had the cell phone number and email address.
Yeah. How much it cost an hour?
Oh, yeah.
How
He
much
knew
it cost for a half hour?
everything. He knew
Dude, we're actually doing on the bonfire. I think next week we're doing 30-minute sketches,
Yeah.
charcoal sketches, and our model is a female porn star.
Oh, Jim knows them all.
And he goes, send me her name, so because I might have already been with her, but we're gonna draw 30-minute sketches, 30-second sketches on charcoal with our pens of how do you say it, transvestite, as Rich Voss said one time, transies. These transies, fucking asshole. I gotta ask real quick because we have these questions for you.
Okay.
I got questions. What does this Bobby Lee apologize to you on episode? What happened between you and Bobby Lee?
So,
Because I had a problem with him too.
are you being serious?
Yeah.
What was the problem?
He threatened my life. He said he was going to bite my jugular out and kill me on the set of a TV, on a set of something.
He must have been.
I mean, he looked serious. And then he took his ding dong out a couple
That's
times.
Bobby.
Yeah. No,
He's
I mean,
he's harmless.
of course, I'm kidding, but he thought we had a problem.
Yeah.
And we really didn't. I don't give a fuck. But I just, I was kind of maybe short with him a little bit one time.
Well, he's also short.
He's very short.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very short. But what was your problem with him?
So two things could be true. I got to give credit. Bobby has been pioneering the Asian American culture. He worked really
Sure.
hard, and he's a talented guy.
Yep.
And but we all have faults. But what started was, I mean, I don't. He and then there was a guy named David Cho, who made the huge money from Facebook, doing all the painting, and he made all kinds of money from that deal, right?
Okay.
He's in the show called Beef on Netflix, and
Oh.
he got in trouble recently. But so anyway, they're on podcasts, and I think what I heard was one or both of them were supposedly talking shit about me, which is fine. I don't care because
Right.
people talk shit all the time.
Well, they're Korean, right?
Yeah,
And they hate Japanese people,
yeah,
especially your kind.
yeah. Because Japanese don't like us, Koreans don't. Because
You're in this little world.
yeah,
You're Korean, Japanese.
because Japanese say you're Korean, but
So
the
what?
Koreans
Why
call
did they
us
hate you?
Japs.
So why did they talk about? What did they say?
I don't know what they say, but it really upset my younger brother.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he's never said anything about being upset with anything, so that's why I was kind of angry about that. Because people talk shit at me all the time. I don't care,
Right.
but I think when your family member got upset, I wasn't too happy with that.
Yeah, we know you don't like when people fuck with your family. You better not have a vagina bone. All of a sudden, you know kung fu.
So one time, Russell Peters called me, and I was in Denver at the time, and which is weird because he usually just texts me.
Yeah.
So he called me and say, "Hey, Yosh, I heard something weird. What's that? You don't hate Bobby Lee, right? I don't want to talk about my personal shit. I think I said like I don't like him or I hate him or whatever, right?
Right.
And he goes, "Oh, come on, just bury the hatchet and talk to him. Like, first of all, I don't like when people tell me to do stuff that they don't do themselves. I know for a fact he doesn't like certain people.
Yeah.
I don't tell them to be,
Yeah.
So
he doesn't like me. I know. Wrestle
he
him.
loves you, man. So I don't want to talk about this. So I want to make clear so he doesn't keep bugging me. So I said, I hate Bobby Lee so much. I would love to see him get beaten
Yeah.
and killed
Really?
in front of his useless parents. As soon as I said that, Russell said, "Oh, I need to go." He hung up the phone. I didn't realize until
You were on speakerphone?
a day and a half they were doing live podcasts.
You were on the podcast.
With Bobby Lee's pod, I guess.
And you said that.
Yeah. Well, nobody told me that.
Listen, yes. That's
So,
that's
but-
on him.
But so they
It's
bleeped
like
out.
when you're driving in the car with my wife and kid.
Yeah.
If I answer the phone, I go, "You're on the car with everybody."
Yeah.
So you don't go, "Hey, dude, we're gonna get some transsexual porn stars tonight to suck our assholes." Not that could happen. You couldn't make that happen, could you? Could you?
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah. I know so many people in that
Okay,
world.
go ahead. I'm kidding. I don't want that. Where's my camera? I don't want that. Look at this eye.
So
Look at my eye. No, I'm
you
kidding.
look like me now. Now, so
So you said that. So he hung
they,
up.
they they bleep, but I didn't really like that because the way, even though you couldn't hear what I said, they raised their hand like I must say something horrible,
Yeah.
But he's a harmless guy. He
Yeah.
suffered a lot.
Yep.
He accomplished a lot. I don't have to be friend with every Asian person.
Did he suffer? What did he suffer? What happened to him?
Look, if you're in entertainment business and if
Yeah.
you're an Asian person,
Yeah.
something fucked up must happen to you.
Oh, you're just assuming that.
Well, I've heard stories about his childhood. It wasn't good.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. That was like the same thing with me. Well, here's the thing. They were like, I forget who it was. Santino was like, oh, no, it wasn't Santino. I think it was Ari. Hey, you mad? I'm like, no. Why would I? No, of course not.
I mean, I already beat Bobby a couple times.
He beat him up 3 times. Actually.
Okay.
I learned that after.
Yeah.
That he beat the shit out of him 3 times. You know what we should do? Me and you should just beat the shit out of Bobby.
No.
Come on. Me, you, and I.
He doesn't deserve that.
No, I'm kidding. Relax. Goddamn Japanese people. I know one of everybody hates you. You don't get sarcasm. All right, listen. I got questions for you, brother.
Yeah.
We covered a lot here. I got questions from the fans. Where are you gonna be, anyways? What are you doing now? What place are you doing now? What are you doing?
I'm doing a show with Stanhope next month at Memphis Freedom Fest. We're
Yeah.
doing one show. I'm doing show for Swingers Party in 2 weeks.
A swinger, like people were fucking.
Yeah, after the comedy. Yeah.
So you wait a minute. You do stand up and then they fuck.
Yeah, there's a comedian named Kuvari in Arizona.
Yeah.
Look, because you're a real comedian, you
Yeah.
do, unless I'm opening for like Attell or Russell or Norton, I do like D-list rooms, but I get this really weird parties because they heard me talking about porno stuff. And so I've done shows in Germany, did a gangbang after the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you hang out?
I can because I've done so many of those because everybody thinks it's like hot chicks, but the smell, man, it really gets me every time. It's like 50 manholes and then 2, you know what I mean? Like you see 2 beautiful girls, but like you don't know the smell in Pornhub. It's so horrible. And
It smells like protein and beef.
oh my God. And they don't why don't you shower at least when you show up?
Oh man.
And so it's like whenever you have to like blow bang or gang bang, I have to do the paperwork. I have to make sure they're 18 years old. So that was my job. And for some reason, they always want to shake my hands. Like, I don't want to shake your hands, like, we don't have to be friends. And of course, I've done those kind of gigs where I have to mop the floor when they're done.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you think you've done humiliating entertainment,
Right.
you haven't got low like me. I mean, I've done some horrible jobs.
Yeah. But it's also made you who you are, which is fucking great. Like one of the most
psycho.
one of the most interesting dudes I know in the business.
Oh, thanks, Bobby.
100%.
I think.
I mean, the fact that you don't want to fucking beat up Bobby Lee with me is kind of sad.
I want to be fair to him because
Again, I'm joking. I don't want to beat up Bobby. Now, Bobby Lee, I'm going to do a phone call from Santino. Hey, what's up there, pal? Captain Ace?
Yeah.
You want to beat up my partner? What's going on? I don't
know him, but he was great in beat.
He's awesome, dude.
He was
Santino's the shit.
fantastic.
Love Santino. God damn it, do I like that guy. I like Bobby Lee, too.
But you're just like him. You're one of the few comedians that could do stand up amazing. And Bobby, you could act. I cannot wait till the day you do your Broadway show.
Well, you're going to help me? Are you going to help me?
I'm
with
going
it?
to
Yes.
help. I know you could do it.
We're going to do it. You're
And
going to help me with it.
Yes, I love that stuff.
I'm going to bring you up. You're going to go, and now, One Man Show by Robert Kelly. Final Fat. Hey. And then we'll have Godzilla's. All right, listen. Jay was working on David Tell's porno show, A Good Time, and was there ever a chance anyone on set had with getting fucked or fucking Attell and Ron Jeremy together?
Dave, I don't know how many times I've done a show where these young girls are interested in Dave, but he's so perfect. He does finish show, go to gas station, pick up candy and coffee, and go to hotel room every time. They're interested, and he always said like, no, they're not interested. They are interested in him, but
Yeah.
Dave just
He didn't want the hassle. Yeah.
his ultimate perfect. I gotta say about Dave. Dave's all porn, by the way. I was
Sure.
consulting 2 seasons of it. When I saw him do 9/11 Memorial show last year at the MSG,
Mhm.
Dave was the only guy killed. Don't even hang out for after party. Go to cellar and do 3 more shows.
Yeah.
That's how fucking professional that guy is.
He's a
He's
cop.
unbelievable.
That's why he's one of the best comics in the business. Top 5, top 3.
All time.
Yeah, of all time. Yeah, he is a stand-up comedian.
A lot of them after party, they're getting, pussy, publicity, power, whatever. But Dave didn't give a shit. He does his show. He fucking left.
That's the downfall of many guys who make it big, is that they want the parties and the fame, more than stand up,
Yeah.
which is fine. I don't think wanting fame is a bad thing, by the way.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, go ahead, grab it, get it, enjoy it, and But there's some guys who got the fame and it kind of went away, but they still have the respect. You know what I mean? The respect of being one of the best.
And Dave,
Comics is-
when I
he's
when I
one
saw
of
him
the
just leave and go straight to cellar, it just like he's
best. He's the best.
and he's very generous like Russell.
Shout out for Skeptic Tank. Episode is Bobby and Ari were my first 2 earhole addictions over a decade ago. I don't know. Okay, that's from the same guy. All right, this guy, you can tell. Big Ben Cox 69. God damn it. What are your thoughts on OnlyFans and how does it compare to actual porn industry? Well, that's good.
That's a very good question. I went to the convention in January. Man, it's a completely different story. The power have shifted away from production to performers, and especially if you're stars like Mark Spiegler, the number one talent agent manager in the business. He was telling me, I think I got the figures all wrong, but he was giving me example like Riley Reid, one of the most popular porn star. He was telling me like she's making like 100 grand a week or some crazy.
On OnlyFans.
Yes,
I mean, Karen Feehan makes that.
and 20 years ago, it's impossible. All the powers with the production company. Girls got, they got some little bit of money, but nothing like this.
Well, now a cell phone has enough juice. I mean, you could film something on your phone live.
You don't need production company.
You don't need anybody. You don't need lighting. You don't need shit. Technology caught up with the idiot. And now you can just be an idiot and stay home and show your asshole to a bunch of fucking perverts or show your feet
Yeah.
and make, 40 grand a month.
And so it killed a lot of mom and pop production companies, small ones. And another thing I heard that, and Pornhub is very smart, they corner all the male talent. So they have all the O-list, A-list male performers.
Yeah.
So now this mom and pop production company, even they get a A-list female performer, they got mid-level guys fucking them. It's not as good as Just imagine if New England Patriots corner all the quarterback or something.
Right.
The rest of the league look like shit.
Right.
Well, that's what they're doing. These small companies are going down the toilet.
Because they got a bunch of small pack of quarterbacks.
Pretty much what that's
Right,
what it
yeah.
comes down to. Yeah. And all the top-notch girls corner in the market, but
Yeah. Well, Bailey J, my friend Bailey and her husband Matt, they do everything themselves. He's the photographer and the video guy. He edits everything together. They put it up on their website.
yeah.
They have a partner on that. And then she does her OnlyFans and makes her money, and it's all going to them. And she doesn't have to go to Las Vegas or LA to make a
No,
porn.
and she owned her shit. I
And
remember.
her porn is simple.
Yeah.
Porn, it's very simple now. I mean, I love old school porn.
Yes.
I love the buildup. I love the, hey, how you doing? Good, how you doing? Well, my son is, I can help him with that. Really, how can you help him with this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then down, boom, bam, bam, bam. I love that. I really do. But now people just, they'd rather watch a live chick cooking eggs with an apron and showing her asshole every fucking 10 seconds.
And they make way more money. I remember doing her movie Rogue Adventure. I don't know which number for Joy Severo, but yeah, she was a very good performer. Very pretty.
Bailey J?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bailey's great.
She seems to have a pretty good sense of humor.
She is one of the funniest people I know.
That's what I thought.
I mean, her and her husband, but Bailey really makes me laugh. I mean, I've cracked the fuck up at her. She's actually giving me jokes.
She lives in New York City?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
No, she lives in Florida now. All right, ready? Chucklefucker 808. What is the craziest thing you ever saw behind the scenes on a porn set?
Craziest?
Yeah. You ever see a knife shoot out of somebody's asshole and kill somebody? That's what I would think would be crazy. Just a gay murder.
It's not crazy, but I tripped when I was mopping the cum on the floor. Then I fell flat on it.
Ah.
I want to say that was the first time, but I used to mop at those porn booth in Seattle.
Yeah.
I tripped on that one too, but sometimes they have shit, blood, piss.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's crazy.
But
you really nailed this question. I mean,
Once
I
again,
love that
smell
you-
bothers me more than anything.
Sure, than jizz on your chest.
Yeah,
You know, mess up a good Izod with jizz, but
but yet,
yeah.
yeah, working at those porn shop, you know.
All right,
like-
well, there's that. That was a good one. Let's check that one off. Boom, I got it. Okay. All right, here we go. Mr. Ed's butthole. Are you able to watch porn and enjoy it, or does being in the industry ruin it for you?
So one time, I was in Athens, Greece, and prostitution is legal there. So when you go to red light district, you go into the building, and if you like the girl, you pay the old madam. You go into the room, and while you're waiting, if you pick a popular girl, you have to kind of wait until she's done with other customers.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're in the room waiting for your turn, and they have a TV in there, and sometimes they're playing porno there.
Mhm.
And it's a little weird because sometimes I'm waiting for my turn. I'm watching a movie that I worked on. It's on the monitor, but I think it's worse. I'm at the age where I'll see my friends performing, right? And it can be hard because now I'm at the age I'll see my dead friends fucking. Because, you know, a lot of them are slowly passing away. Like, I don't want to fucking see my dead friends fuck, you know? And,
Gee.
but a lot of times when I watch, like, oh my God, I really edited that scene really bad, you know?
Really?
Yeah, it's like,
So you're watching it as an editor.
yeah, I'll watch it like, God, that's a really bad lighting or
Right.
editing, and I don't like the angle. I don't like the position sometimes.
Yeah.
And the price you pay working in adult business is that the fantasy is dead.
You get
know?
desensitized.
You get desensitized. You know all the shit that goes behind the scenes.
You know the magic trick.
Yeah, for sure. Like sometimes a guy can't come, so what they do is girls will get a regular egg and take the yellow part, put it in their mouth, and then when they start shooting, they pull the dick out, spit it out, looking like he came in their mouth, but that's chicken egg, you know, that they're just spitting out.
You just ruined it for me. Why'd you
Well-
ruin it? I didn't ask you to ruin it for me, fuckface. I mean,
So-
now I'm gonna think chicken egg every time I see jizz.
Yeah, so they have all kinds of tricks.
They have
like
tricks,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, it's a fantasy. It's not real. They're recreating a scenario for us perverts to have a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But fantasy is a problem, isn't it? Everyone, you know,
That's why I love the old school things because
yeah,
they really laid
it's
in.
it's
they
more
lay-
romantic, right?
Yeah, they kissed. I mean, I know that's gay to like kissing in a porn. I know that, but I kind of, if they kiss him for some reason, it allows me to believe that it's more real. You know what I mean?
Well, we used to get a customer, and they're more romantic types. So sometimes they want romance books at the porn shop.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got a blind person, so we have to give them an audio clip of album where they're fucking, so they want to listen to that.
Yeah.
We even have older folks show up, and sometimes they want older people fucking, and you know, like it's one of those difficult conversations. But you know what? Mentally disabled, they want to jack off too, so I have to help these customers.
Yeah.
Old ladies come in, and they want certain kind of
The
porn.
mentally disabled, just throw egg on them. Like I'm jerking off in your face right now, you weirdo. Blind people, you hand them the Bible. Go, here you go, in Braille.
No, but they used to have an album like erotic stories,
Right? Yeah.
and then or they're moaning. So we had all kinds of different customers.
It's a
You know,
weird thing never to see tits. You know what I mean? Never to see a vagina.
that is weird.
It is a weird thing. Like you don't even know. You only know what it feels like and smells like.
Yeah,
It's great and taste, I guess. Tastes like,
and
tastes
sometimes
like pennies and mustard.
sometimes I've had customers asking for things I can't really help. Like I had an old grandmother showed up and walk in and ask, "Where do I find prostitute?"
Yeah, right here, bitch.
And
$80. I'll suck your asshole. Around the word for 120.
she told me that her grandson's dying from cancer.
Oh shit! Not for her.
So I want to help, but like
Yeah,
we don't.
$200. Suck him off right in the chair.
So that has happened.
That's crazy. Here's another one. Ready? Libtard Crusher 420. Have you ever considered acting in porn? Why or why not? Good question.
I tried to do blow bang one time, and
Explain what that is.
blow bang's like one girl giving bunch of guys blowjobs. you
Okay.
know? And then this years ago, but
Is it out there on video?
no, because there was a black guy standing behind me. He ran into me, slammed his dick on my back. I was like,
Ooh.
"Fuck this!" So I left. I don't want to do this shit, you know.
Why did he slide his dick on your back? Was it an accident?
No, we were just standing and like somebody tripped and like kind of domino effect.
And you felt his hog on your back?
Yeah, and that's
And you were like, I'm out?
I'm just like, I don't have heart for this. I don't. And plus,
Were you
but-
sad
but-
that your dick couldn't hit somebody's back?
once again, the smell. I just can't handle the smell.
Sex
yeah.
has a smell. Especially when you have a bunch of ball sacks out.
Yeah, one girl and 30 guys.
Oh.
It's a small room, dude.
Oh, it smells like a New York sports club. All right, we got one more. Rage Against the Creatine. Yeah, I guess that's it. Creatine. There you go. Did the Me Too movement impact the porn industry?
Oh yeah.
It did.
Well, I mean, Ron Jeremy's in serious trouble, but I think he's.
You were
gonna-
friends with him, right?
I mean, I knew him. It's really weird because first porn I saw had Ron Jeremy in it, and 12 years ago I was doing a comedy show with him. It's so strange, like, holy fuck, this is the first porn I saw, and then I'm doing a show with him. But he's been accused of multiple rapes, and I think it's mistrial because he's mentally not capable of defending himself.
Why?
I think he's suffering from dementia or something.
Is he really?
Yeah. And I think I have such a mixed feeling because, for example, football, right? Like 70s and 80s, they play a lot harder, right? They were doing kind of crazy shit to quarterback. You can't do that anymore.
Okay.
Ron was behaving porn behavior that was compatible to 70s, 80s, and 90s. But you can't do that shit in year
So
2000.
you think he's getting called out for stuff
That he was getting away
with,
back in the day,
yeah,
but you can't do that shit anymore.
and people came out and were like, hey,
He just grabbed my tits
he grabbed my
Or-
tits and he's
or forced me to give him a blowjob or something like that.
That's rape.
Yeah, but they claim everybody still deserved to
I
defend.
was it. FYI.
Yeah,
The word forced. That's rape.
Right. but Ron used to show up. He'll show up in some.
Hang on one second.
Yeah.
Just let you know.
Yes.
Forcing a chick to suck your dick.
I'm anti-rape, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know you are. I'm just letting you know. Forced blowjobs, rape. But look at we had a whole industry
Yeah.
of Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
Sold it on regular TV.
Yeah.
And they would blur out guys just grabbing girls' tits.
Yes.
And that was on TV as a commercial.
Right.
And the guy made billions of dollars.
Yes.
And you'd go to there and you'd pull your tits out and guys would grab your tits.
Yes.
In New Orleans. And that was a thing. And you'd throw beads and chick would whip their
Yeah.
tits out. So are you going to go back and get all, it's like, it was a different time. You have to kind of, does that play a factor in it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we were different people then. Now we're these people, you're going to have to go back and get every rock band, every actor. I mean, all these people and women, there's some women who did some weird shit to guys, not a lot, but I mean, it was a thing that people did. Now they don't do that anymore. Rock bands aren't, I'm pretty sure that, there's no Motley Crue type of scenarios backstage anymore.
Yeah. But it is very strange, Bobby.
Because they're a bunch of pussies.
Uh,
Because they're not forcing girls to get blowjobs anymore. Am I right?
Yeah.
Come on. Right?
it is very strange that David Bowie, Led Zeppelin, they used to have sex with underage girls all the time in 70s.
Yep.
And when I bring that up, they're like, well, they're rock star. So evidently, if you're in a certain profession back in the day,
It's hypocritical.
yeah,
Yeah, they'll never trash David Bowie for doing crazy, fucked up shit, and they'll never persecute him because
they like them.
they like him. And the women that it's like JFK is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
What's that movie with Marilyn Monroe?
yeah,
And they bring her up in the thing. Who just talked about? it? Somebody just talked about it. And they into
She
the
was
White
just
House.
yeah,
Into the White House. Well, his wife was away. He's naked in the bed, and he just he's on the phone
right.
talking, and he was like, "Come over here and just suck my dick."
It's not right, but it was a different time.
Yeah, he made Mallory just come in and suck his dick. He's
Yeah.
married. JFK was garbage.
But now,
Clinton was a piece of shit.
yes,
Garbage. Right?
yes, for sure.
And
He purposely bombed Yugoslavia because he knew that next day there's going to be big news about Monica Lewinsky. So what do? Is you bomb countries for distraction,
right, yeah.
So he's done shit like that, and
He's the worst.
um,
And then they'll hire him to colleges, and all these girls will, and their moms will fucking swoon over him.
yeah. So
So what's good for you is good. Yeah.
But to answer your question, yeah, there's no way you could do the things, especially in fucking early '90s and late '90s. Oh my god,
Yeah.
like Annabelle Chan's like 200 gangbang and shit like that, and all kinds of weird shit that they used to do. It's interesting when those extreme sports were getting popular in the '90s. Around the same time, there was all this extreme porn. I don't know what it is about the '90s, but they were
were
doing some
I'll tell you what,
outrageous stuff back
It was
then.
called fun. The '90s were the fun, and I'm glad the '80s and '90s was my era.
Yeah,
Because I was talking with this about Norton the other day. I go, dude, we had a lot of fun. I mean, we had fun. We used to have sex in the hallway at the cellar. Downstairs, we had a lot of. I couldn't imagine coming down now and seeing Matt Reith getting head off of two waitresses downstairs as he's going on stage. You know what I mean? You can't do that anymore.
that's why I think Leonardo DiCaprio is very lucky because
Oh my
he
God.
did all the wild shit prior to cell phone, But
Yeah.
trying to do that now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so. Well, listen, I gotta go. Dude, it's been a pleasure, and I really, man, you're one of my favorite people to hang out with and chat with.
Thanks. I just want to promote just one thing.
You want to beat up Bobby Lee?
I'm doing Fringe in Scotland this summer.
What are you doing?
Fringe Fest.
The Fringe Fest.
Yeah.
Okay.
August 4th through 26th.
Okay.
And the name of the show is Adult Content.
Look right into that camera.
Adult Content. And I have a website, adultcontent69.com. Adultcontent69.com. My friend
Okay.
Tracy Tuff just made that website for me. But yeah, it's not exactly comedy, but all kinds of a lot of weird personal shit will be in there. But yeah, it's basically 25 years of my involvement in adult business. And I talk a little bit about visiting every Jeffrey Epstein's property minus the pedophile island.
You went to the island?
That's the only place I didn't go, but I went to every other places. And I went to Ghislaine's court case, most of it. I also saw Elizabeth Holmes' sentencing as well. Because I think what I learned over the years, when the super rich and elite people don't have a very healthy sex life, what they do is they fuck the poor. They do all kinds of terrible things in the world.
That's funny because that's the name of my new special. Is I fuck the poor.
I even went to Davos during the World Economic Forum. I knew right away who were hookers just running around servicing.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty clear. I
They're
worked in sex business for a long time.
They're garbage. Epstein, right? I mean, he got murdered, right?
Yeah,
He was murdered.
assisted suicide.
Assisted suicide
Yeah.
because he knew too much.
Oh, my God, yes.
Are we ever gonna know what he knew? Or is that just gone? Is she gonna get killed too? Because she knew.
She sounds like keeping her mouth shut. But it's interesting. We don't have the client list, but we're beginning to have his work schedule. So now we're seeing less of people he was seeing. Recently, the director of CIA, Noam Chomsky, all these people that.
So he was working maybe for the government to have blackmail against all these other people.
Oh, I think it's pretty clear. There are plenty of other people. Like, actually, Tim Dillon knows a lot of this stuff.
Because Tim Dillon was did he have sex with Jeffrey Epstein? Was he one of the little girls that he brought to the island back in the day? Hey, I'm not sucking your dick. Anyways, this is crazy.
Epstein does not like fatties.
All right, relax. I was a fatty a
yeah.
year ago. I'm still fat at heart. I still protect
Can I
my
tell you
people.
this one quick thing?
Sure.
So during the COVID, I went to all the MAGA rallies and BLM, right?
Right.
And it's
And they
interesting.
tried to kill you.
You know what's so interesting, Bobby?
What?
When you hang out with MAGA people, I notice their big thing is MAGA people love big tits.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Sure.
Because most MAGA people white, most of the white people come from Northern Europe. The primary diet of Northern Europe is dairy product.
Yeah,
Where does
milk and
dairy come
cheese.
from?
Yeah.
Big tits. When you go to BLM movements, most of those people are blacks and Latino. They come from South. That's why they love asses, So like
Yeah.
sometimes when you see like MAGA and BLM,
Yeah.
they're basically, to me, when I hear them argue, only thing I hear is like big tits, ass, right? But what's sad to me is if they're calm and talk to each other,
Yeah.
they have more common than different because they're fucking poor.
Yeah. Poor people.
Do you know who want them to fight each other?
Yeah.
It's the super rich people.
Exactly.
Super rich people are not into tits and ass.
No. What
Not at all.
they're
If you
into-
go to any rich area,
they're
all
into-
the women are tall,
Yeah.
skinny,
Flat chest.
no tits and no ass.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Epstein was fucking young girls because they have no tits and asses.
Sure.
The rich people, for whatever reason, love
Wasn't that
tall and skinny shit.
tight vaginas at all? I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So I spend my time traveling the world, studying the sex habits, and
And you're going to be doing this in Scotland at the Fringe Fest.
yeah, and I'll
And
probably,
that-
I'll
what is
probably
that-
see Ari Shafir, I'm sure.
What's that date?
August 4th or 26th, minus 2 days. And I have a lot of pictures to go with my stories.
Yeah, make sure you go check him out if you see it. August 4th through the 26th.
Name of the show is Adult Content.
Adult content,
And my website is adultcontent69.com.
and that's Yoshi.
Yeah.
And go check him out live. And of course, see me live. I'm everywhere. I'm going to be Portsmouth Music Hall. Awesome place. That's the 27th of July. It's a beautiful town in New Hampshire. You guys who know it, make sure you get your tickets now. I'll be in Nashua on the 28th. And also, I'll be at the Laconia Theater on the 29th. That weekend, I'm working 1, 2, 3. And then I'll be at the 23rd, September 23rd. I'll be at Rutherford. And then just go to my robertkellylive.com for all my dates. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the little subscribe button so you're a member. Now we know, when we do a show, it comes up for you. If you're listening to audio, hit the like button and hit the star and rate it so we get up on the rankings and people can find us easier. And you can also go to patreon.com/Robert Kelly and become a member, a supporter of the Patreon. It's pretty cheap. We don't make it too expensive. And it's once a month, and you won't even know it's gone. And you get to see the shows live, be in the chat. You get an extra YKWD every week, and Calder and Kelly, a bunch of stuff for a little amount of money to support the show. I want to thank, of course, Yoshi. You're the best. We got Danny and Max. What do you got?
You can follow me, Max Marcus Comedy.
And follow me on Instagram at Danny Braff and Jokes Russell on Instagram for Joe Russell and Mike V. Suarez for Mike Suarez.
And one last thing,
Sure.
Broadway show, Bobby. No, sir, you're a terrific actor. I really want to see you do
So
that.
let's do it this year.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
You going to help me produce it?
Yes, I want to do it.
All right, cool. I'll do it. And if I somehow disappear, that means we had a fight about some type of creative, and he killed me and fucked my corpse. So please, it was.
I have no beef with Bobby Lee. He's fine.
No, I don't either. You're an ass. I don't either. My God, you're like the Dutch. You don't get sarcasm. No wonder they beat you up.
I know.
All right, we'll see you guys next week on You Know What, Dude?
You've been listening to the YKWD podcast. Thanks for listening. Now go back to your shitty jobs.